Hello, it's me, the ukulele teacher, here back for a short while, at least in London, England, to meet Will Grove-White, star of the world-famous Ukulele Orchestra of Great Britain. Will, thank you so much.
Hi, John. How are you?
Hi, I'm awesome. Thank you, Will. How are you doing?
Fine. All the better for seeing you.
Thank you very much. I wish I could say the same. Oh no, that's right. I don't know why I said that. But so you've been playing with the Uke Orchestra of Great Britain. You just got back from a tour yesterday, or?
Yeah, we've been doing some tour shows around England recently, and then we were in Germany recently, and we're off to Poland at the weekend. So the ukulele wheel keeps on
turning and churning.
Exactly,
yeah. Wow, and I saw you in California last year as well.
Yeah, we have. We've been doing a lot of shows out in America. So we've been playing, because our sort of first big entry point into America was doing Carnegie Hall there. And when we got asked back again to do Carnegie Hall.
That's a pretty good place to start.
It's a great place to start, and the only way from there is down.
Right.
Really. So we've done some really interesting gigs, but California is a wonderful place to play, and the Americans love ukuleles and Hawaiian shirts. All the business. You got some Hawaiian shirts?
This is probably the closest I've got actually nowadays. I used to in my university partying days, but not so much now, I think. But so have you noticed, like, as you go back to America, if the audiences are going up, are you kind of growing over there?
Yeah, I think it's growing. I mean, they want us to keep touring there all the time, so because it's a very big place and there's loads and loads of places to play. We've played places I've never heard of the last tour we did.
Yeah. Like the Cerritos Performing Arts Centre.
No. This was another tour.
Oh yeah.
That tour, yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah.
In South Dakota and stuff. All
wow.
Across there.
Okay. Awesome.
The Rust Belt and stuff. So it's really interesting, and more and more young people, and lots of old people, and it's a great big sort of crowd. The ukulele crowd seems to attract a huge variety of ages, grandparents and grandchildren.
Yeah, I noticed that from the people who watch my channel. But obviously, there's a big, well, I don't know about obviously, but there's a big chunk of people who are sort of maybe 13 to 20 something.
Yeah.
But there's also, the grandmas and grandpas who are watching 60 plus.
Yeah.
And now it seems to be rounding out as well, sort of everything in between. So
yeah.
Which is kind of the cool thing about the uke. Anyone can play it. Anyone can enjoy it.
Yeah, and it's a way to have a social gathering these days in a time when in this world there's not really a chance to get together and sing together. The ukulele, is that kind of that key into that world where people can just get together and sing a few tunes together,
Yeah, totally. I joined a ukulele group in my pub when I was living in Hammersmith. There was a pub at the end of my road that had a ukulele group. And I ended up meeting my neighbours who I'd lived next to for sort of 5 years and never said two words to.
Oh, really? And then you're singing Jumping Jack Flash with
exactly.
them. Yeah, great.
Exactly that kind of thing, yeah. So when did the Ukulele Orchestra start? How did that
The Ukulele Orchestra started in 1985 as a kind of joke, really. A one-off concert, that was the plan, with using just ukuleles, like a big band, like having a big band dressed in tuxedos with a singer, and to just sort of play the wrong music on the ukulele, so play rock and roll and jazz, and so it was just a laugh group, which actually I saw as a young boy. I was 15 at the time when I went to see them playing, and I followed them for a couple of years and eventually got asked to join when I was 16, and that's it, really. That was it for me.
Wow.
With the ukulele. So we just from there. It just kept on tumbling. So we had CDs out in Japan and did a tour of Japan in 1994, and then again in 2004, and then we got on some TV shows and we were doing more and more shows. But in about 2002, 2003, it really took off. I think with the internet, actually.
Yeah.
And the interest in ukuleles, because it was something of an outsider instrument. When I picked it up, you couldn't find a ukulele in London without going to a specialist shop, and talking to funny people who knew mostly about this character George Formby, the famous English ukulele player. But now, there's ukuleles everywhere. We walk into guitar shops and they say, "Hey, you're from the Ukulele Orchestra. You saved my business."
Oh wow, that's so cool. That's really
nice.
really yeah.
And then you ask for a free ukulele.
And do they oblige?
No.
Okay.
Cup of tea, man.
Yeah. I actually bought my first. I never mentioned this before, but I bought my first ukulele when I was about 15 or 16.
Oh yeah.
Just because in our local music shop there was one ukulele, and I think it was £8, and I sort of had some pocket money.
You had £8,
and I had about £8 left. Yeah, and I just picked it up, and I did my GCSE music composition on a ukulele.
Oh really?
Yeah, and I think the cassette tape of it survives somewhere, but
You'll have to dig that out.
I will have to one day. Yeah. But that was and that was the only ukulele I'd ever seen up to that point, and then I didn't see any until sort of, I don't know, 5-10 years ago, and then it's sort of been slowly becoming a big thing.
No, it's had many waves, the ukulele. So, because when it was hit America in the 20s, it was massive. I mean, there were millions of ukuleles. Everyone had a ukulele, and there are still across America. Anyone watching in America, go look in your grandparents' attics, and you may find some antique Martin ukuleles. And, all sorts of there were Gibson were making them, and all sorts of people. And then it just sort of died off. But it really has had this renaissance. Which is fantastic. And more people playing. And people on Britain's Got or whatever.
America's Got Talent, of course. Grace Thunderwall, and this year Maddie Harvey's playing it. And I mean, do you wonder, because you're saying about the waves and peaks and troughs.
Yeah.
And as someone who makes their living playing the ukulele, both of us make our living playing the ukulele. Do you worry that it is going to be like a phase, and maybe it'll like a fad, and it'll kind of die down again soon?
I somehow don't think so. I think it's sort of here now, and I think a lot of these niche things which were niche interest because of the internet, these niche interest things can maintain their following now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and there's so many people playing the thing, pop stars and on records and adverts and all. It's a sound we're all getting used to. You know? So we'll see. Maybe we'll be taken over by robot ukuleles or whatever.
Who knows? Yeah. I don't know. Occasionally I worry that it'll be one of those things. You remember those sort of I Love the '80s shows, and we're like, everyone was wearing cycling shorts and spangles, whatever. And what were we thinking playing the ukulele back in 2017?
Oh, look at us!
Weren't we funny? Yeah.
Well, basically, as someone who's played it since it was deeply unfashionable, I can say
it's here to stay.
I'm stuck with it.
Yeah. Well, me too, I think. So, But no, that's really cool to hear. I mean, I know what you mean about the internet changing things. So, all my favourite bands, I was kind of at school the only person who had even heard of them. And then all of a sudden you go on the internet the internet was invented, and I look on the internet and I'm like, hang on, everyone loves this band on the internet.
Right.
So, They Might Be Giants is my example.
Right, exactly.
They were kind of, particularly over here, no one sort of knew who they were.
The thing you thought was your private thing, and then suddenly it's everyone's. You go, hey, get off my thing.
Exactly, but then that's helped them go on, and they're sort of living off the internet a lot now and putting out a lot of internet exclusive projects and things. So,
No, well, we sometimes find that, we're because it's definitely we took it up because it was an outsider instrument and a weird instrument that didn't have any kind of baggage with it, like a violin has got all this baggage. You play certain music on a violin, a piano, blah blah. A ukulele didn't seem to have any baggage. It didn't seem to have anything really associated, so you could do anything with it. If the ukulele becomes too popular,
I know what that is.
Then you get one of these, which will be the next wave of musical
the next musical outsider.
I think you'll always be an outsider with one of these because you look so awful with one on.
You better explain what that is.
It's a nose flute.
And
it's
an African nose flute or something? Or?
No, it's actually made in South Africa, weirdly. Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I've seen your channel. I mean, the videos on your channel.
The important work I do.
The important YouTube work you've done. Which reminds me, the one question I've been dying to ask you, actually, related to your YouTube channel, is you've got, loads of ukuleles. You do some great covers and original music, and you've written a great book. But on your YouTube channel, you have a video where you're throwing pencils over your head, and they land in plant pots and toasters and things. And
that was the thing I did with my kids.
Yeah. Is it real?
Yeah. It's amazing. You can do it. There was a kind of thing going on the internet of people doing it.
Yeah.
And we thought we'd have a go. And it took about 20 goes to get a bit of toast into a toaster.
Okay.
Like that.
I'm going to,
But when you just do it in that moment, then you're,
Well, that's the same with these videos. They look seamless, but there's a lot of hard work that goes into it.
Oh God, I had to learn this whole script.
Absolutely, yeah. But I'm going to link to that video because I think it's one of the coolest things I've actually seen in a long time. So but getting back to playing the ukulele and the Ukulele Orchestra. You started when you were 16.
Yes.
But it wasn't as big then as it was now. The orchestra.
No.
So have you had sort of other musical jobs or careers?
No, I mean I write my own music and write some music for TV and stuff. But no, the ukulele. I started on the ukulele, and I think I'll finish on the ukulele.
Yeah.
You know, it's that's the Ukulele Orchestra has been the line through, you know, finishing school, going to college, getting married, having kids. You know, we've all grown up together. The same 8 people, really. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like a bizarre old family now. You know.
That's incredible. Yeah.
Yeah. No, and it's so long may it last. It's an amazing institution, and you know, we've played all across the world now.
Yeah.
So we've done China, Australia, Sydney Opera House there, and we did a gig at the North Pole, you know, on this little island called Svalbard, which is the last landmass before the actual North Pole. And
Not in an igloo.
no, it was, but we landed on snow.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
the Northern Lights were there, and we played for about 200 research scientists in a weird little hotel.
Yeah.
And you couldn't leave the settlements without someone with a gun coming with you because of all the polar bears.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
yeah.
You must have played some, because as well as your tours, you've played a lot of like private or sort of, I don't know, corporate gigs.
Yeah.
Including you played for the Queen at Buckingham Palace.
Yes, we did. Yeah, that was a real treat because that was on the evening of her 90th birthday, almost exactly a year ago. And she was a big George Formby fan, this old English ukulele player. And Prince Charles had heard about us and he was organising the party and asked us to come along and play at the party, which was just for her and her close family. And we were in Windsor Castle.
Nice, yeah.
And tapping our toes away. It was a really nice evening. Bizarre to be there, totally surreal because you could name everyone there.
Yeah,
You're trying not to stare at everyone.
So it was the whole family.
The whole family, yeah, just a small gathering, 120 of them.
Of course, yeah. Yeah. Wow. And was she? Did she enjoy it?
She loved it. Yeah, she loved hearing the old tunes. You know,
Yeah.
and I mean, amazing woman, really. You know, to still at 11 o'clock on her 90th birthday, still be there.
Yeah.
At a
Dancing
party.
or
No dancing.
no dancing.
No.
Okay. But yeah, wow, that's incredible. Are there any other sort of unusual gigs or places you played?
We've done all sorts. We've done some gig for some dancing camels once. We had a sort of gymkhana thing, you know, with dancing horses. This was very early days, and there was a great moment where there were these camels had been imported from Germany for this special event. They were dancing camels, but they only danced to this one tune, and we had to learn that tune. And they were walking towards the gate, and we were strumming this chord, you know. And George said, "Change to E minor when the camels reach the gate." When the camels reached the gate, we were, or whatever it was.
Yeah, and they just started the camels.
The camels started, shuffling away.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was all trotting and that
Yeah.
sort of thing. What other things have we done? Oh God! I mean, they're all pretty strange. The funny thing about the Ukulele Orchestra is because it's a sort of odd band that plays rock and roll and classical and jazz, and we can kind of be the antidote to anything, you know.
Yeah.
So we often get booked at classical music festivals as an antidote to all the classical music, or at a punk festival as an antidote to all the punk music. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's a very funny band to be in, and there's a lot of humour, and people really like that. People like in Germany especially, they love the British humour, this sort of Monty Python stuff, and America, you know.
Yeah.
So we can play up on that a bit, you know.
Yeah.
But they're still fun. I mean, I've got to say, it's so nice to meet all the people who play ukuleles now, and all the good fun they get out of it, and you know, especially sort of people, like I was saying, the social thing, you know, people getting together. I've met lots of people who've met their loved ones through the ukulele. So many people come up and say, "Oh, you know, it's all down to this little uke."
Yeah. Have you played any like festivals, ukulele festivals in America? Or
we haven't done any ukulele festivals in America. We've done normal festivals. We've done Glastonbury Festival, and
when was that?
In 2009 or something. I can't remember. But it was a great big tent with about 6,000 people in it. It was my rock star fantasy.
Yeah, I bet.
Fulfilled.
I bet.
Except I was sat in a chair with a dicky bow on,
right,
playing the ukulele. But other than that,
my
foot wasn't on
Well,
one is playing an electric guitar. But,
yeah,
you know, but
it'll be on the
good.
resume at least, you know,
Oh, yeah,
on the
yeah.
CV. So
Oh, it was great to see everyone moshing away.
yeah. So I mean, I've been to you know, I've been to see you guys play in California, and I've been to a few ukulele festivals in the States, and like something I've noticed is the people who go there are just so nice.
Yeah,
you know, people are just lovely.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, do you find that about your fans?
I think they're a really nice bunch. You know, I think everywhere you go, you'll get good and bad. But I think the proportion of bad in the ukulele community is definitely smaller than in other areas of life. You know, I don't know what it is. I think ukulele people have nothing to prove.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
You don't need a stack amplifier and all sorts of bells and whistles. You know, just this and your finger and off you go.
Yeah.
You know? So and that generally is a good character trait, I would say.
So have you ever taught anyone? Do you give lessons, or do you have any pupils? Or
the Ukulele Orchestra did do some workshops and stuff, which was great and a great way to kick people off. This was about 10 years ago, just as into learning how to play as an ensemble. So not all doing the same strummy thing. Some people just playing offbeats, some people playing, you know, picking, some people doing other things, and just making up a nice sound altogether. But I don't do much teaching, although I have written a book.
Yes, I've read it. It's a great book.
Called Get Plucky with the Ukulele, which is a kind of history of the ukulele and how to play, which is great fun to do, and found out all sorts of interesting, weird facts about things like Jimi Hendrix played his first note on the ukulele.
Yeah.
David Bowie did his first gig.
Okay. Playing a ukulele?
As a Cub Scout on the Isle of Wight.
Yeah.
And Neil Armstrong was a big ukulele player.
The first man on the moon?
First man on the moon, yeah.
Wow.
When they came back from the moon, they didn't know if they'd had caught any kind of moon germs or anything while they were in the moon. So they had to put them into a kind of isolation booth, just the 3 astronauts, for 6 weeks and observe them to see if they got ill. And the only thing Neil Armstrong asked for to keep him busy was a ukulele. And there's a couple of rare photos of him playing his ukulele in this isolation booth. No one knows what it sounded like.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's asked Buzz Aldrin.
Yeah. Oh wow. I'd love to know if he was any good. But
that's a way to drive people nuts for 6 weeks.
Particularly in a small isolation chamber. Yeah. Wow. And your book is available now from Amazon?
Yes, Amazon. Go and buy it. And it's great. Lots of lovely pictures and funny stories and things in there.
It is a great book, and I'll link to it below. I've read it, and I give it 2 thumbs up. So,
excellent.
Excellent.
And there's lots of things, and also ukulele orchestra stuff. You know, there's loads of CDs and DVDs through the ukuleleorchestra.com, which are all brilliant and interesting, and lots with play-along chords, which are quite good fun for
you
players.
You guys have just recorded a new album.
Yes.
Do you know when that's going to be out?
I'm not sure. We're just about to start mixing it, so by Christmas. Yeah,
okay, great.
Lots of good stuff on that.
Yeah. Is it what kind of music are we looking at? A mix of everything, or
it's mostly ukuleles?
Of course.
Yeah. No, and it's a mix of it. There's some Italian opera, some English rock and roll, some Canadian folk music, some Scottish tunes, all sorts.
Yeah. Well, that's something to look forward to. And where can we see the Ukulele Orchestra of Great Britain live?
Well, all over the place. Next year we'll be in America a lot, and just go to ukuleleorchestra.com and look at the gig listings bits and get on the email list, and we'll send you out an email, not too many of them, and let you know when we're in your area.
Fantastic, cool. Well, Will, thank you so much.
Not
it's been a real pleasure.
A treat. Great.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, that's Will Grove White, the star, or one of the many stars of the Ukulele Orchestra of Great Britain. Will, thank you so much. It's been really kind of you to speak to me. I'll be back again soon with some more great lessons and videos for you. If you have any requests for future lessons, let me know in the comments below. Until next time, I love you all and I wish you the best.